And we'll start at 174 pounds. It'll be Dylan Lydy for the Boilermakers. Top 10 in the country. He'll get a good test tonight against Johnny Sebastian of Northwestern. And Jim, Sebastian's really turned the corner.
Yeah, he really has, and it's really surprised to see him is ranked as low as that. But he's come along. He's got, I believe he's got 5 or 6 straight wins here on the season here going into this match. And Lydy already have a 9 ranking, so this will be a great battle. You know, normally our meets start at 125, and now they went to the draw. They ended up getting one of the featured matches tonight right off the bat.
Johnny Sebastian, as you mentioned, Jim, comes in hot. He's won 7 straight. He's 22-7. And Lydy, he's won 2 in a row, brings with him a record of 27-10. The team leader in victories for the redshirt sophomore from Indianapolis, Indiana, Ben Davis High School. Here we go, 174 pounds.
We were talking here off camera, but it was funny, Shane, looking at last year's results. I mean, this was a 2016 meet. Both schools won 5 matches, and it was decided on bonus points. We'll see in the lineup here, but not a lot of rematches from last year's meet. These programs are on the move, improving, and got a lot of new faces in there.
Compared to last year, both these teams, several guys at a different weight class here this campaign. No score, 45 seconds in. Big match, Jim. Always want to get off to a good start.
Yeah, you know, at this weight class, I mean, remember, you know, in the traditional lineup of things at 25, you know, you've got the 12-minute break, so these guys are out there under the gun right away, so we'll see how their weight cut was, and if that makes a difference in this match. And I really enjoyed Coach Ursulin's comments about, you know, going ahead and getting it into their match. You know, drag the guy into your match is a great way of putting it, so take him into deep water.
Slow pace in this first half of the first period. This is the 89th all-time meeting between the two schools. Boilermakers 45-41 in 2 series advantage. They've won 3 straight. These two first met back in 1921.
Yeah, you can see both guys are pretty comfortable now with this head-to-head offense, and you can see where Sebastian is comfortable in his left-legged lead. He can switch it off a little bit there. There's the first attempt of the match. Almost 2 minutes has passed.
Action center! Action center!
Yeah, we'll take a look at the Flow Wrestling rankings there down below as we watch all of our matches here today.
174, a couple of hammers, of course, in the Big Ten with Mark Hall and Bo Jordan. That big match. There's a good shot from Sebastian, but countered well. Way to square up from Lydy.
Yeah, working off the elbow tie there. You see where the hand's taped up right there. He hit a little duck under move right there, but it was a little misdirection plan with it to get to the single leg to the other side.
There you see Matt Storniolo, second year as the head coach at Northwestern, 15-12 mark to his right. Mike McMullen, really solid staff for Northwestern.
A fun staff, too. I mean, a bunch of good young guys that I really enjoyed watching their careers. You see Mike McMullen there, the 4-time All-American there for the Wildcats. They've also got Andrew Howe, who's the associate head coach, and Cody Brewer from Oklahoma, national champion as well. Guys that all bring different qualities to the program, but really good, sound college careers.
A lot of hand fighting here in this first period. Kind of feeling each other out a little bit.
Yeah, you see where Sebastian was able to go off that elbow tie. He's pretty sly. Wouldn't give up at any point in time in the period there, but mainly both guys holding position.
Here you see Tony Ursulin in his 4th season at the helm as the head coach of Purdue. And I like those comments, Jim. Drag them into your match. Love it.
I want to drag you into a match, okay? See what it feels like. Getting me fired up here. But, you know, those are great. You know, Tony Ursulin is a workhorse. He's been a well-traveled assistant coach. He was 8 years at Nebraska. Spent a little time at Northwestern as well. And, you know, he's got his coaching career started at Central Michigan, and also always envisioned himself as being a head coach and a man with a plan to bring this Purdue wrestling program to prominence.
Solid job. Talk about it all the time. Those quick escapes. Every second counts, and Lydy escapes inside of 5 seconds. During the conference call, had some great comments during his time at Central Michigan, learning from Coach Borelli, learning to do more with less.
Yeah, you know, that's one of the unsung coaches in college wrestling is Coach Borelli at Central Michigan. He's done a great job over the years, and what you could always count on from him was just those guys that would just go out there and pound and be tough, and they're maybe not had the best credentials coming out of high school, but you know, maybe that's what you have to do at a program like Purdue. And you see Lydy with a good little, you know, just a step in and you know, kind of a snatch shot. He showed that a few times, and I think Sebastian's kind of getting a decent measurement of it.
Purdue's put together back-to-back solid recruiting classes.
Yeah, that's one thing that also impressed me. They're ranked number 6 last year in recruiting, so you know, recruiting classes and ranking them, you know, sometimes that can be a little bit overrated. You know, one school might have a lot of scholarships to offer that kind of might unnecessarily put them into a category or have them bump up a little bit, but really it's always fun to look at 5 years later what you were able to go ahead and do with those recruiting classes.
Short time here in the second, just 1-0. Lydy with the quick escape. Here in the second period, majority of this match been wrestled from their feet. Neither guy with a real serious, legit attack up to this point. Final seconds.
Yeah, you could say that both guys have gone out there and really couldn't break each other out of their stance. They did no angles at all. The slide-by effort there, but
Sebastian, he'll have choice. He'll go on by. Sebastian, talk about big recruits. He was #1 at 182 coming out of high school, 3-time state champion. He was 5th as a freshman at 152 out of Bergen Catholic, wrestling power there in New Jersey.
Yeah, Northwestern has always been kind of a national recruiting. You know, obviously they're going to get some guys out of Illinois, but they've been able to go ahead and do a great job of selling, you know, the aspect of the school. They got, you know, great individual performances over the years. You walk into Welsh Ryan Arena, you're going to see, you know, some of the best wrestlers that they've had, a lot of national champions, guys that you'd recognize out there. And, you know, where maybe Purdue, you know, they're just maybe been a better dual meet team over the years. They've got some guys like we mentioned that had some good careers, but maybe not the amount of national champions here recently.
These guys wrestled last year, Jim, both down at 165. It was 12-4, a major decision for Sebastian. So Lydy's obviously closed that gap, to say the least.
Yeah, no question.
Work out of that. Work out of that.
1 minute, third period, Jim. How do you get to the legs here?
Well, I think you have to go ahead. Neither guy's really worked the head down very much, and now you see Sebastian doing that a little bit, but they're you know, at some point in time, if you know the guy's going to tie with that, I'd like to see a little bit more post action where they're able to go ahead and maybe take the thumb to the inside and go ahead and try to post and get underneath. But this is all maybe even taking that and going with a 2-on-1. But it's going to take more than just one effort here to get to a corner. You're going to have to go side to side, a little bit in, out. You really have to pick up your attack rate.
Inside of 30 seconds, 1-1. You're at 174 pounds.
Yeah, and both these guys maybe not used to going out there with the draw. You know, they just kind of worked themselves into the match.
I'm watching their feet, Jim. Not a whole lot of movement.
Yeah, there's not, but you know, there's like I said, it's not necessarily the time that's kind of where the draw kind of worked against these guys a little bit, but you know, you got to be prepared to go out there.
Sudden victory, 7 minutes, not enough time to decide this battle. 1 minute, sudden victory. There you see the overtime criteria. Nobody scores after 1 minute. It's the two 30-second tiebreakers. See if one of these guys, Jim, can muster the courage.
Well, it's not a matter of courage. It's basically getting the technique where they see both guys are pretty square on right there. And there's a nice job by Lydy just fighting out of that. Looked like Sebastian really had him that leg. And a lot of this, Shane, is the fact that he can't really get to that. He'd like to be able to go ahead and attack that left leg, and that attack isn't really there. He's naturally leading it back, so he makes that effort to get there. See how that left leg is back? Now he got to it.
Counter shot there from Lydy. Pace is picked up. I guess that was my point. Where was this the first 7 minutes?
Well, it sometimes doesn't happen. So trust me, they're putting it out there. You see a good look at Andrew Howe telling these guys to go ahead and pick up the pace. And As a coach, you got to be real specific here about what you want your guy to do, what tie that you want. There's the fake, back both sides.
Andrew Howe recently promoted to associate head coach at Northwestern.
Both guys understand that it's a short time here, so this may be decided on the mat.
Both guys quick escapes in periods 2 and 3.
Yeah, this is a little bit different, though. This is where you try to hang on as much as you can and work for the ride out. A lot of break, a lot of time for these guys to rest in between the period. And
you've always said, Jim, you don't look at it as a 30-second ride up, but rather you break it down to maybe 3 10-second rides.
Yeah, or 3, maybe 4, even 5. You know, just go ahead and work on mat returns. And so whatever you're good at, you don't want to sacrifice that position. If you would like to finish on the leg,
caution on Sebastian.
A well-timed caution. Time in the referee here.
And neither guy's been hit with a stall call, so it could be a situation here, drop to a leg. You'll take it.
Yeah, you'll take it. You just want to do what you can to go ahead and get the win here.
Ankle pick quickly by Lydy, front trip.
Yeah, and he's able to go ahead and put the leg in real quickly. Sebastian looking to go ahead with that quad pod stand-up. It's usually pretty easy to follow, but you can see that Lydy's following there, now turning in. Good job of returning, anticipating the roll through, drives back through.
Lydy stays right with him.
See the count, right? 5 count. He'll take this 5 count.
Absolutely, well done by Lydy. Exactly how you navigate that 30-second tiebreaker.
Well, it was because the count stopped, all right, when Sebastian dove back in and got back on the ankles when they were shoelace to shoelace situation there. Take a look at the period here. So here's the drop down, below the waist. He's working to finish it, roll through. And I don't know if we have an injury time here going on right now, but he's below. He's getting the count, but see how Sebastian comes back at him right there? Okay, if Sebastian goes out forward, the count continues, and he probably gets a stall warning and a stoppage. So Sebastian took a little gamble there, looking to get the reversal.
Thought I saw some blood on Sebastian earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Lydy. Yeah. They'll clean up Lydy. Good way to start, big match.
Yeah, it's interesting because these are the things you need to shore up in championship wrestling, getting guys to go ahead and advance. You're walking up into the tournaments here, coming up pretty quickly. Is that just that little thing of getting a new start right there, getting the stall warning rather than dropping back on the opponent's ankles here, stopping the count. I mean, that's where you tell your guy, kick out, go forward.
Lydy on bottom, quick stand up, and able to face Sebastian. This is not sudden victory, so there's an escape. 2-1, we got 25 seconds left. And if you're Lydy right here, just want to maintain position, territory, stay center of the mat.
He is doing just that. He's he's getting right on the collar right there of Sebastian. Now the nice misdirection on that shot. Can he go ahead and finish it up? He's got to clear his head out of there. And to come back through, it's just the rigmarole they had before. Nice job by Sebastian, but not enough time to finish it. Wow, that's a little bit of a, the higher ranked wrestler won there, but the good battle.
Dylan Lydy snaps the 7-match winning streak of Johnny Sebastian. Purdue on the board. They lead it 3-0, 2-1. Lydy over Sebastian. Hard-fought, workmanlike victory there by Lydy.
Yeah, it was hard-fought at the end there. Both guys will look back at this match and say, why didn't I get this thing going here a little bit earlier?